Hello, it's Crafty Carol here with another little project for you, just the one this week as I'm a bit busy with other things to do a second one. But I did want to show you this card. I don't know what to call it, column card, pillar card, something like that. It folds flat, so you can post it so it becomes the size of a normal card. But when you open it up, it has this fun fold which opens up and it just stands up like that. And this one, it was actually shared with me by one of my fellow demonstrators, Anne Scott, at our regular meetup. We meet up every month and just craft together because it's fun. And she showed this gorgeous fold, so I thought I really want to have a go at that. She's used the daisies stamp set and dies. I don't have that, so I'm doing something a bit different, but I am going to work with this card. Now this card is made in inches, but I have actually measured out the centimetres as well. Let me just move that out of the way and get all my stuff in. I'm going to use the Irresistible Blooms stamp set, just one of the flowers and some of the die cut leaves, which I've already done, as you can see. So let me show you all the bits that we need for this card. And as I said, I've actually worked out the centimetres as well. So for the base card, I've used Petunia Pop. And it's really, I just love this colour because I love all purples. So I'm going to use Petunia Pop, and the card base itself in inches, 5.5 by 10.1/8, in centimetres, 14.8 by 26.5 centimetres. And we're going to score it. If you're using inches, I'm doing centimetres, but if you're doing inches, you want to score at 4.25. Actually, I'll probably tell you while I'm scoring because that'll make it a lot more obvious, won't it? So I've got my stamps ready. I'll just move those out of the way and bring in my scoreboard and my trimmer, my paper trimmer. So I'm going to use this to do my scoring. And to open it up because I'm going to need it opened up. I hope that's all in shot. So we're going to start, this is, as I said, this is on the long side. I'm going to start in centimetres. I'm going to score, move my blade out of the way, make sure I'm only using the scoring tool. I'm going to start at 11 centimetres. If you're doing inches, it's 4.25 inches. Then I'm moving it 4 centimetres, so I'm going up to 15 centimetres. And in inches, you want to be scoring at 5.75. Then we're going to 19 centimetres. In inches, that's 7.25, and finally 23 centimetres. Oh, just get that properly level. There we go. 23 centimetres or 8.75 for inches. So that is the scoring. Let's put my trimmer to one side. So you should have 4 panels plus a fifth. So 4 panels, the big one, then 3 the same size, then a slightly smaller one at the end. And we're going to fold these so that they fold inwards. So I'm going to fold it up and I'm going to turn it this way because I want to make sure when I'm folding that it is exact either side. And then I can use my bone folder just to squish down and fold that properly. So I'm going to do the second one. So again, fold it so that I can make sure it's absolutely straight because otherwise it's not going to stand up properly. Then the third one, folding all of these inwards so they're all mountain folds. They're all folded across so that the fold itself points outwards. That's a mountain. And then the final one, again, make sure it's straight and close it in. So when the card's put together, it is actually going to form, that's how it forms the pillar. But we've got lots more to stick on it first, so we don't want to do any more. But that is all the scoring for that. So the next bit that you need is a piece of white card. We're going to cut this up, but we're going to emboss it first. And this card is 17 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres. And if you're working in inches, it is, I can't remember the total bit. I'll have to add that up. I'll put it, it'll be in the blog or I'll put a note on the video to show how much it is in inches, but in centimetres, 17 by 14.3, and we're going to emboss it. So I'm going to use the, that's the wrong piece of card, honestly. That's the one I want. Dear me. So get the right bit of card. That is the bit for the back. Should I tell you all of these as well? So that's the back panel, and that's 9.5 by 13.3. Now in the card, which I've lost, no, there it is. In the card that Anne made with us, she didn't put anything on the back. She left one of the panels blank so that you could actually write on it. So that's an alternative. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. All that you need to do that is cut one of these off. One of them, that you cut the big size panel. It'll make sense when I've done the embossing. But there'll be one panel here in my card, so you might want to cut that off. It's up to you. Cut it off and have one plain bit, or stick a plain bit on the top. I decided I would prefer the bit for writing and the sentiment to go on the back of my card, and that's why I've done it this way. So I'm going to use this So Swirly embossing folder and emboss it all in one and then cut it up. But you could cut up the panels and then emboss them if you wanted them to be different, or use a different embossing folder or whatever, because obviously that size of panel won't fit into our ordinary smaller embossing folders. You would have to cut it up first. So I'm just going to go and emboss this, and then I will be back. So here is my embossed piece. Just put that to one side. So we do need to cut this. So I am going to cut this as 2 at 3.5 centimetres. I might actually use this side. If you use the, I hope this makes sense in the film, on the right hand side of your scoreboard, you can cut up to 3.5 at this side, and it's actually easier because it means you can jot the whole of the piece up against the stay at the top here, so you know it's going to be straight. So I want 1 at 3.5, a second one at 3.5, a third one at 3.5, and then we have the remaining large panel, which I'm going to use on the inside. As I say, Anne in hers used, you can see the difference. I'm going to use this on the inside here. This bit folds over, obviously. Anne has cut hers, so she's got one plain one to write on. So make it however you wish. This is how I'm doing mine. So we're going to start to put all of this together, and I'm going to stick the panels on first. So I want to stick 3 panels on these pieces here. It's a lot easier to stick on before you put the actual card together. So, ooh, my glue's fallen over, but it should still work okay. So we're going to have, ooh, which side of the embossing do I have? Doesn't really matter, they're both lovely sides. So we'll have the first panel here. The second one here. And the third here. So those are the 3. The biggest one's going to go inside. While I am here, I'm going to stick my back panel on, but I might just decide to stamp it first, just in case of something awful going on. And I'm actually going to use, like me making a mess, because then I've got my emergency side I can use. I can't use it if I've stuck it down already. So I'm going to use Pretty in Pink as my ink to use. And I'm going to use the sentiment from Irresistible Blooms, I couldn't be happier to have you as my friend, because I think that's just a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. So just ink up my stamp here and put this in the middle here. There we go. Couldn't be happier to have you as my friend. Get my stamp cleaner out. Very disgusting, but very useful stamp cleaner. So that's for the back. I think I might just do a little bit of a little flower on that, just coming off the side. So I'll get my scrap bit of paper, because I want this coming off the side. So I'm just going to stamp up my flower and have it there. I'll just add something to the back here. So then we can stick this down. As I say, it's up to you where you want to put the sentiment piece or the writing on piece, I've chosen to put it there because I think I prefer that. Then we need to actually make this card up. Well, before I stick that on. So to make the card up and make sure it's going to lie properly, open it and just fold over the flap that we're going to stick down towards the inside. Add the glue to that flap, but not a big lump. That seems to have fallen off the end of my glue. Oh, there we go. Got rid of that lump of glue. Don't want any lumps of glue. So when we've done that, I'm going to fold it over, if I open it to show you, to the second panel. So if I'm using this one here, so I've got two panels and then my back, fold that in and then fold it down flat. Okay, press it down to stick it, and then you'll see that's what forms the card, and you've got it as a nice square column or pillar, whatever you want to call it. So that's how we actually stick that down. Okay, so now I can stick this final piece on. And that goes on this section here. And there's my card, which folds flat for postage. And it's just to add the decoration. So I've got loads of bits. So I like to just get an envelope as well. Oh, just reach my envelopes. If I'm going to do some stamping, I might as well do the envelope as well. So I've already cut out, by the way, the leaves. Let me do the stamping before I open up anything else. I'll show you. These are leaves from the Irresistible Blooms die set. So they're just really useful to have. So I'm going to have this, I'm going to stamp this probably 2 or 3 times. Don't know how many I can get on this piece. So I think I can get 3 on this. So that would be good. I might need a 4th if I do. I might have one inside as well, actually. So let's do more. This is my envelope, so I'm going to stamp that in the corner. Might stamp it on the back. Oh, look at that, already got glue everywhere. Glue, ink everywhere, never mind. Yeah, so I've done my envelope, put that to one side. 3 flowers, is that enough? Do I need another flower for the inside? I think we might do. So since I've got another piece of card here, I've got a smaller piece here. I'll use that piece. We'll have another flower for the inside, possibly 2. So I'll stamp 2, and then if I don't use them, I can keep one for another time. Just clean that stamp. And finally, I've already cut out this frame. This is from the Unbounded Love, Unbounded Love it's called, isn't it? Unbounded Beauty, Unbounded Love. That set of dies has some beautiful frames in it. I haven't got them out at the moment to show you, but I cut out the frame already, or you could just punch out a frame, and I'm using the Hooray It's Your Day. Now actually I'm thinking in pink, I might actually match, I'm going to change my mind. I am actually going to stamp this in Petunia Pop to match the base card. So just need to reach my Petunia Pop ink pad. It's a very, very juicy ink pad, I have to say. Some of them are more than others. There we go. So I've got Hooray, It's Your Day. Close that up before I get messy somewhere. And let me just show you the dies that I've already cut out here. So, oh, I'll need that die because that cuts out the flower. I've used it so much it keeps falling off, as does the big one, because I've used those so much. Actually, I've already got some flowers there. I wonder, might be a bit too big, might it? That plus the smaller one. Can't remember what colour that is. It is not Petunia Pop, but it just sort of matches if I have the lighter colours as well. We'll see. I'll leave it out for now. But these are the leaf dies. These cut out the stamped leaves that you've got in the set. These just cut out, they don't match the stamp, but they cut out leaves. And those are what I've done. I've cut out one of those, one of each of those, and there's 2 of 2 sorts. There's two of those and 2 of those, and I've actually kept the inside bits from those dies. That's what these little tiny bits are here, because I think they look like leaves as well, and they give me an extra leaf to use. So that's what I've used there. So I've got out my die because I want to go and cut out these flowers. Not sure about that, doesn't quite match there, but we'll see. I'll go and cut out these, and I'll be back in just a second. Right, so I've cut out all 5 of those. Whether I'll use all of them, I'm not sure. So we now have to decide where we're going to put some of these things. So I've cleared away some space, so we've got some space. So my idea originally was to have 2 or 3 of these down here. I think I don't want to put that very bright one, and I'm going to stick with these, and I'm going to use the Hooray It's Your Day here. So I'm going to stick this bit on first because I don't want to have put those on and then find there isn't room for this one. Although, do I want to overlap that one slightly? I might do. So I'm going to stick this one on flat. Just get my, yes, that's about right. So I'm going to stick that one on flat. I'm definitely going to use dimensionals for at least one of the others. And then I'm going to stick this on. And obviously I only need to put glue on half of that. Or do I use dimensionals so it's above? I might use a dimensional on that as well, actually, so that it's above. So I only want dimensionals on the left-hand side. Leave the right open because that's going to overhang here. So we don't want to stick that down, so we're going to have that just sticking like that, so that when it comes up it's not stuck to there, doesn't stick down there. Then I am going to use dimensionals on both of these, I think. So I'm just putting them fairly near the centre of the flower because the flowers will overlap the outside a little bit. So I want them at different angles as well. So we'll have that one slightly overlapping the back and this one slightly overlapping the front. And then some of the gaps between them, I'm going to use the leaves. And then my idea was I might put a couple of these inside here as well. So let me just put some glue on some of these leaves. Don't know whether I'll use those insert bits or not, we'll see. So I'm just going to use the just very light little dabs of glue. If you're careful, you can just use little tiny bits. The alternative, as you've seen me do before, is you can use the back of your hand and just stick some glue on that. So this one I want coming out here. And I'll have the curly one coming out of here and just overlapping there, I think, a little bit. So for that, I'm only going to put glue on the bottom bit of it, not the top, because I want that overlapping and just sort of floating in the breeze above the top there. So press that down there. And I haven't left much room for another one. It might just slide in there. It'll come across the bottom flower unless I can ease that up again. There we go. Yeah, that can just slide in like that. It's good for me not putting too much flower glue on the bottom flower so I still lift up that side of it. So again, I'm not going to have glue right to the end because I want that sticking out a little bit to the side. So I just want glue on that middle bit. There we go. Just press that down as well. And I think probably that's enough. Yeah, I might leave those for the inside bit. I'm not going to use those solid bits either. So as I said, I'm going to actually add a little bit of flower on the inside just because why not? And I am going to use just glue because if I try and put dimension on that, obviously the card's not going to close properly. So you do need to, anything you stick on the inside does need to be flat. That's really important. I'm going to have that right in the corner here, I think. Does that look sensible? No, it doesn't look sensible. I'm going to move that one. The beauty of glue that you can move around, I like that. And I'll just use these little leaves in between. One tucked in there, and this one tucked in. Tuck in there. Oop. It's going to lift the corner of that before it's stuck down. There we go. So stick those in there like that. So there is my pillar card. So as you see, it folds flat to go in the envelope, so no problem with that. And then when the recipient finds it, they can stand it up to actually see how beautiful it is. You could actually put another sentiment with a message on there. I think I'll leave it. I'll stick with this one because I've decided I wanted to put this on the back because I wanted that. And if I put that inside here, you see, when I close it, I'm going to have bits of it sticking out, which just doesn't look right. So I've decided that this is how I'm doing it. As I said, my friend has done it, leaving that blank for you to write on that panel. So you could choose really, which of those do you prefer out of the two different types? I just think it's a beautiful and so simple fun fold, and I hope you do have a go at it. You can find all of the details and all of the measurements in inches and in centimetres on my blog, and I will that's at craftycarolscards.co.uk. The link is also below this video, and all the instructions and measurements are there. Please do subscribe to this channel if you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to see more of you. And if you go to my website, you can also sign up for my emails, and then you'll know when I'm doing my live classes on YouTube and on Facebook. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.